guys, so as promised, I wanted to make sure that I leave you guys with some how-to videos. There's so much that we're going to cover in the workouts themselves that it's kind of complicated in those 10-minute block to break down each move. So I wanted to make sure that I filmed those individually for you. As we go, we'll add more and more to our library. So we're just going to go ahead and start with our kettlebell deadlift. Okay, so I'm going to grab my heavy kettlebell. Okay. Now the most important thing is that everyone will tell you to push through the heels of your feet, which is honestly, to start out, such a great cue because it kind of tells you where you want to go. Like, you want the weight to be back and not forward. But what I want you to think about actually is thinking about like when you tie your shoes, right? So when you tie your shoes, you always end up tying right in the middle of your ankle, right? And that's where you want to feel all the weight distributed over your foot. So you want to feel all the weight that you're carrying throughout your body, as well as the weight you're lifting from the floor in the center of your foot, right over your laces. So when I say push through your laces, that's what I'm referring to, okay? So first things first, let's start with the floor, okay? So the first thing you want to be doing when you get ready to set up for your kettlebell deadlift is you want to make sure that you're pin your feet into the floor. So think about a socket, right? Think about your feet as kind of a plug, and you're sticking the plug into the socket, right? So we're plant the feet into the floor. Take your big toe, take your small toe, push them down into the floor as hard as you can. Drive the heel of your foot into the floor as hard as you can, all right? And now once you get that into the floor, think about a car ignition. You know how when you turn on a car, you twist? That's what I want you to do with your feet. So once you pin the big toe down, pin the small toe down, pin the heel down, now what I want you to do is turn on the car, okay? So you're turning on that engine, which is that ass. So now the engine is turned on, right? Because you've pinned down into the floor and you've turned the engine on by twisting those feet into the floor. And as you can see, you can literally see how my glutes tighten up and how my thighs like kind of turn out a little bit, okay? So that's when you know you're on, okay? And now what I want you to do is start to think up, okay? Now we're getting into a hip hinge pattern, okay? So a deadlift itself is a hinge and not a squat. And the way you know that is because this bottom part of your leg, right? This bone here is going to be straight up and down, okay? It's going to be straight up and down, and the booty is going to go back and behind. So for my girls that like to twerk, and my guys that like to twerk, I'm one of those people that likes to twerk. Think about that. How would you start twerking, right? You push your hips back, okay? It's as simple as that. I know we try to over fucking complicate things, but it's really just as simple as that. Think about getting ready to fucking twerk, and that's what your deadlift is, okay? In my instructional video. But push the hips back and away, okay? So the hips will go back, away from your shins, and you want to keep your chest up nice and tall. Like, bitch, I'm obviously the prettiest motherfucker in this room. That's what you want to do. You want to stay up nice and tall, okay? So once you're up nice and tall like that, push those hips back, go ahead, corkscrew, and the feet into the floor. Again, turn the ignition on. Grab the handles as tight as you possibly can, okay? Keep that chest up tall. Push your feet through the floor. Think about you're trying to bounce up and off. You're trying to jump off this floor. You're trying to propel yourself up. You're a rocket. You're trying to fly away. So you have to put as much force into the floor as you possibly can, okay? Now reverse that. Go ahead, push the booty back, stick it out, push the booty back, and then let the weight lower back down, okay? So I'm gonna do all of that from the side now, okay? So, pinning my feet to the floor, plugging into the floor, turning the car ignition on. Let me just turn my weight, sorry. Turn my car ignition on, squeeze, good. I'm gonna get ready like I'm about to twerk. I'm gonna push my hips back. The bottom of my legs are gonna stay straight. I'm gonna sit back and down. And then from there, I'm going to push my feet into, I'm gonna squeeze the bell as tight as I can and push my feet into the floor to stand, right? I'm gonna reverse it. I'm gonna let that bell start to go down, and I'm gonna push my booty back and repeat. Good. Okay? So it's not more technical than that. Of course, we can dig into minutia, but the most important thing is that hinge pattern, it comes from the hips, right? That it comes from here, okay? That you're pushing your hips back and that you're active from the floor, okay? So try that out. Again, this is a part of our workout 1, so try this move out. I know someone's gonna ask me, where should their feet be in relationship to the kettlebell? So you want the kettlebell, those like bougie ass trainers will tell you, line up the kettlebell with your malleoli. Again, you want to line it up right where your shoelaces are, okay? So the kettlebell on both feet, the feet will be just outside, okay? So just go ahead, line up, center yourself, so that way when you reach down, it automatically starts to take you back, right? Because in order to get there, in order to reach that kettlebell, I have to sit back. Okay? All right. So, that's your kettlebell deadlift. If you need any regressions, easy regressions would be to sit the kettlebell on top of something. Like here, I have blocks, because sometimes our hamstrings are super tight and we cannot get down there. Like my hamstrings are very tight because I cycled today. So I would say my deadlift is not as smooth as it usually is. But now I have the blocks higher, so now I don't have to reach down as far, right? Again, I'm gonna do that for this side for you guys so you can see, right? I'm still gonna line up the exact same place, but I don't have to reach down nearly as far, okay? Again, you can sit the bell down. And another option for that is, say you don't have blocks, right? I don't have blocks, I don't have anything to sit my kettlebell on. Marcel, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna bring my feet wider, right? So if I bring my feet wider, again, I don't have to go travel as far, right? Because now my levers are shorter, right? And I can do a wider deadlift. Again though, the key thing with that is if I wanna go wider, I just still wanna make sure that my shins are straight. I wanna still line up the bell in the same place, and I also still want to make sure that my shins are straight, okay, as I reach down and grab that bell. All right, so that's your kettlebell deadlift.